me. I always wait until the actual facts of a situation come out. So, due to the fact MAGA has become full-time misinformation and disinformation spreaders, I just thought I would wait till all the facts of this came out, and then I would just read some of them aloud to MAGA, because they obviously cannot read. So maybe once someone reads some of the facts of this case aloud to them, it might help them stop spreading lies. You never know. Oh my God, I know. They've lost their ever-loving minds. But that's just because they can't read, so don't worry. Hopefully once... Oh wait, hold on. I think this headphone's coming unclipped. It's like stabbing me. Wait, what is happening? Oh no. I think my earpiece came off. Okay, hold on. I've got to make sure let me get us live on Twitch and YouTube really quick. And then I have a couple... I just thought we would go through some of the facts of the Charlie Kirk situation. You know, facts. Not anyone's feelings or how they feel, their terror at the thought of LGBTQ serial unalivers running around. Just, the actual facts of a situation, which I just think MAGA is completely incapable of gathering facts. They just start yelling a bunch of things that are largely untrue. Hey, Lahua. Hey, sorry. Okay. Give me one more second to just get live on YouTube, and then we'll get this not so great party started. Okay, we are good. We are live. Thanks. I know. I'm sorry I haven't been around. I'm just gotten sicker and sicker and sicker. But I'm on a ton of medication, so hopefully I'll be okay. But if you're in the Discord, I've been posting a lot of my thoughts in the Discord, and I'm not like MAGA. I don't just start yelling a bunch of things that are not true because I feel uncomfortable about something that's happened. So now that there are actual facts that have come out, can everyone share this live with 10 people? Let's tap the screen. Let's gift. This is my Cash App and Venmo. If you would like to support me, please do. I'm not going to be live long tonight. I'm just going to be going through some actual facts of things that are going on. Yeah, I'm good. I'm going to go there, Jaffs. That's where I was saying that when I was posting things in the Discord, that's what I was like, no one's even going to know if I start talking about Groypers, what I'm going to be talking about. But yeah, this kid was a Groyper. That's why Nick Fuentes is like, oh yeah, this was right on right violence, because he was one of his. I mean, allegedly, I have no idea. Yeah, I mean, I know because I hang out on X. That's why I know. Can we all tap the screen? Tap, tap, tap. Thank you for that amazing crown. I love it. Max, that was funny. Good one, Max. I'm not going to yell that out loud, but you made me laugh out loud. Max made a funny in the comments. Okay, before I get into like the Groyper stuff, or it might come out, but I thought first I would just start by reading. People can join, and I'll just repeat as weird MAGA people join and are perpetually wrong about things. We can just repeat. But I do enjoy, this is a great article that just came out about an hour ago from the Daily Beast. And again, these are facts. This is what happens when you wait until all the facts come out, and then you gather evidence, and then you're like, here I am to present some facts to you. This is what happens when you're not MAGA. You just don't make up a bunch of lies for a day and a half that turns out every single one was untrue. Lahua, thank you so much for the super chat. You don't know what that means to me. Love you. You're the best. She said, I'm happy you're feeling better now. I feel better because I was having withdrawals. I know. I'm not feeling great, but like sometimes, enough emergency happens. You just got to push through. But again, this kid, Tyler Robinson, just want to be clear. The kid that's in custody, and I'm just going to be telling you about what Tyler Robinson, the man who, Donald Trump and Kash Patel, and I'm only saying they're saying this because, they did arrest 3 people and accuse them of doing it, and then have to release those people because those people, in fact, had nothing to do with this. So, I mean, I don't know if we could trust, but I mean, again, the only reason I believe that Tyler Robinson did it is because he confessed to his family, and then they turned him in. So I just want to be clear that Donald Trump has defunded the ATF. He's defunded local police from the federal supplemental dollars they were getting, and he's defunded the FBI. Not only has he made it harder for law enforcement to do their jobs, right? He's fired all the qualified people that he feels threatened by in these agencies. So now it's just the dumbest of the dumb. And then of the dumbest of the dumb who are left in these agencies that could prevent horrific things like this, he redirected them all to what? Terrorizing and putting brown people into concentration camps. So what you're wondering, like, where's all the police? And by the way, immediately when this happened, people who were on the ground, who were supporters of Charlie Kirk, talked about, yeah, there was no security. There's like 6 total police officers and a few guys like Charlie Kirk had and a couple of plainclothes people. Like, we're talking about, which, let me just, not to be weird, but just to prove that, like, the most useful class I ever took at university has always been, like, you know, when you're like, how the hell am I ever going to use any of this shit in my real life? The only class that I can think of I've ever used that I took in college, I mean, all my history courses, I have a history degree, I've used them, but, you know, but I just mean that FBI profiling class. Literally, like, within an hour from this happening, this is our group chat with me, Cootery, Joanna, and Chrissy. This is me. I mean, I'm calling it white male, 19 to 30, possible military or hunting background. And, like, that's the thing. I love when Mac is like, it's all these things. Well, yeah, because your brains don't work. This is my text less than an hour after it happened. Now, if you're ever wondering, I mean, I am calling it white male, 19 to 30, possible military or hunting background. That shot is crazy. Did you see he was under a tent? Immediately, I was like, conservative white male. I didn't want to say that, but what I mean when I say conservative white male is this person grew up, and believe me, I went to university in Idaho. If you've never personally spent time in Utah or Idaho, you just don't understand the religious dogma, the pressure on you. There's only conservatives in Utah. You're not allowed to be anything else. This kid's like, but I'm just showing you this because an hour into this, I had solved it while MAGA made up 800 million lies. This was just thank you to that FBI profiler, former head of the Northwest Division of the FBI and the Sex Crimes Unit, and he told me, he's like, make sure you use those powers for good. Like, that's what they all say to me. But just say, solved it within an hour while Kash Patel had some old elderly man in custody. Like, and then they had to be like, oops, just kidding. Solved, just in case anyone's curious. Wrote this in the group chat so everyone could know that I solved the crime. Moving on. Now, let's get to, keep tapping the screen, sharing the live. I just want to read actual facts from this person's family since MAGA has accused every single people. But again, unfortunately for MAGA, as it is every time, the call is coming from inside the house. Now, so close inside the house that this article, this is an interview of Tyler Robinson's grandmother. Tyler Robinson, the prime suspect for Charlie K's, unaliving, comes from a proud MAGA family, according to his grandmother. MAGA, I hope you're listening because I know you guys can't read, so let's get all up in here. There he is. Oh, and that's the classic MAGA. Sunglasses on top of hat, American flag on cuff of shirt. There's Dad doing all the thing, showing all the signs necessary to be MAGA, but yet still enjoying Asian food. which is very ironic as the bigotry continues from MAGA, yet still at an Asian restaurant. I'm just noticing things. This is just me. This is a person who can read and noticing things. Tyler Robinson, 22, the man arrested in connection with the unaliving of conservative activist Charlie Kirk, comes from does that say a leftist liberal cuck family? No, it does not. It says from a MAGA family, his grandmother revealed. That's strange because I was told he came from a secret cult of trans zealots that are being trained to unalive people doing the Lord's work. That's what I learned from people whose brains don't work on X. You mean to tell me that the people who are raising their kids to be snipers is steeped in gun culture and everything NRA? They are producing trained unalivers who are now turning on their own ideology? That's so weird. Except for that's what's happened pretty much every time any of this has ever happened since the beginning of time. Anyway, it gets better. Listen, grandma was like, I'm doing this interview, which I think she doesn't realize she's not helping, that actually Trump would probably want her to be like, we're all liberals. But grandma's like, I'm not going to let anybody in America think we even know a liberal. Listen to this. Now, MAGA, this is what happens when you can read. Although MAGA figureheads have been quick to point figures at the left for Kirk's unaliving, Tyler's grandmother, Debbie Robinson, 69, insisted that they come from a family of what? Trump supporters. She spoke with Daily Mail on Friday after news of Robinson's arrest broke. Here's a quote from Grandma. Quote, my son, his dad, is a Republican for Trump, Debbie told the outlet. Quote, most of my family members are Republican. I don't know any single one who's a Democrat. I'm sorry, what was that? I don't know a single anyone who's a Democrat. Thank you, Debbie Robinson, grandmother of the friendly fire that of the kid who decided from 200 yards to take out Charlie Kirk, who says unequivocally that every member of their family is a Republican and she knows no Democrats. That's interesting. According to the outlet, Robinson's father, Matt, 48, was the one to turn Tyler into the authorities. So again, Kash Patel found no one. Trump defunded the FBI, defunded the ATF, now, which we can now directly link back to this tragedy, which most people on the ground there are reporting there were only 6 police officers and a couple of people Charlie Kirk himself brought. Thank you for the $5 on Venmo, Rebel. Do we know why they suspected that old guy and why his pants were around his ankles? No one's quite sure. But yes, again, that's part of the reason I showed my text. 1 hour in, I was like, white male, 19 to 30, hunting or military background. Nailed it. And Kash Patel had some old elderly man who had his pants around his ankles. No, we still don't know, but I'm just goes to show that when you don't hire competent people, no one's jobs get done. Okay, so according to the outlet, Robinson's father, Matt, 48, was the one to turn Tyler into the authorities after he confessed to his dad the grisly crime. Again, the FBI did nothing, the ATF did nothing, no one did anything in Trump's administration to know about this, to stop this, to protect the people that are working for him. Absolutely nothing. This kid just told on himself to his dad. Debbie has not been able to get in touch with her son since news of her grandson's arrest went public. Oh, here's the family again. Oh, all white people from Utah. And according to Debbie, not a Democrat in the family. And again, this is just an interview that was just done by the grandmother who says, we don't even know any Democrats. Isn't that interesting? Quote, I'm just so confused, Debbie said of her grandson's arrest. Tyler is the shyest person. He has never, ever spoke politics to me at all. Democrats are idiotic. I'm sorry, I'm just reading a comment. Someone wrote Democrats are idiotic. When you wrote that, did that sound like you wrote it right? Or Did you think maybe I should spell check? Or were you just like, nailed it? Democrats are idiots. That's weird. Doesn't make sense. She insisted that Robinson has never, ever gotten in trouble in his life. On Friday morning, President Donald Trump announced that after a days-long manhunt, a suspect had been taken into custody after Kirk, 31, was pew-pewed unalived during a speaking event in Utah Valley University on Wednesday. Kirk's unaliving is assumed to have been a political unaliving, as he was a prominent MAGA activist. And I can say, like, and I have 3 different reports of all these, like, minute by minute updates. Yeah, there was some homophobia on some of this kid's bullets, apparently. So it is going along. I was talking about this after the Minneapolis thing, you know, the school pew-pewing in Minneapolis. And I was saying, like, how much hate and bigotry was written on those weapons. And it looks like at least a couple of hit. Don't worry, not to disappoint. Like, and I saw people were mentioning this. And I just want to say this. Well, actually, let me read some other reporting on it just so everyone knows I'm just a woman with a tiny brain. So I need to have, like, many sources to back up the things I'm going to tell you. But let me hold on, sorry. Keep tapping the screen, share the live. But I'm going to get into the Groyper stuff. And I know people, if you're not, this is like a hard concept for a lot of people who are like, I have no idea what anyone's talking about. Oh, sorry. That's what I need to do. I was like, where did my thing go? Here we go. I'm just going to read some things. Again, this is Ron Filipkowski, who's one of the, you know, whatever. He's a lot of things, but I think he's one of the editor-in-chiefs of Midas Touch now. But so I'm just going to read, and he's like consolidating different quotes from different news outlets, but also, you know, let me just read some of this. Tyler Robinson, a 22-year-old from Utah who grew up in a Republican family where guns of all types were prevalent. Oh, yeah, there's quotes where he's like, we're gun-toting. I have the screenshots. Yeah, this is what you do when you raise your kids as little snipers, and then all of a sudden they do something about it. It's so weird. Conservatives, this is your dream. Has been arrested and charged with the unaliving of Charlie Kirk. Since he failed to fit the narrative right-wingers had constructed over the past 2 days, as they speculated wildly, they have shifted their focus to new theories to blame everything on Democrats. CBS. The father of the 22-year-old charged in the Charlie Kirk unaliving saw the photos released by authorities and confronted his son. Robinson admitted to his dad that he was the person in the photos. His father urged him to turn himself in, but the son said he'd rather unalive himself. The father called a pastor who knows the son. The pastor called the U.S. Marshals and other law enforcement agencies. Great job, Christian conservatives. You raised another one. And I want you to know, like, I'm not being cruel. I'm going to hit you with some MAGA logic. None of your logic is sound. None of it is based in anything that makes any sense. But let me give you an example. Project 2025, one of the, you know, Trump has legally enacted about, like, what is it, almost 40-something% of it at this point, but you guys knew nothing about it. But one of the key tenets of Project 2025 is that, which you guys can't read, and so you can't read 5 pages, let alone 900 pages, so you'll never know. But one of the key tenets is saying that the only, like, parents who are qualified to raise children are a man and a woman. Because if 2 parents of the same sex are raising children, that is so perverse and gross. They're going to turn their kids like gay or into an unaliver or something horrible, or traffic them. But the irony is, when you go back and look, because I was, you know, me running math on, like, where hate is being spread, is it the right or the left? And always math is on my side. It's the weirdest thing. That's why I'm over on the left, because math tells a story, right? Which is most hate is being spread from the far right. And what's the other story? That all of these kids are being raised in conservative Christian households. Their parents are Republicans. The guy that took a shot at Trump but never made the rifle team. conservative parents. Kids in his school said he was denied the rifle team, but every time in civics class they would say conservatives over here, liberals over there. He'd be on the conservative side. You guys are steeping children in gun culture, raising them like to be little snipers, never teaching them how to regulate their emotions, never getting them therapy. But again, everything I'm saying, I'm just telling a story of how you're raising your kids. None of that matters, though. That's the good news for you, MAGA. I'm here with some good news for you, MAGA. Mathematically, all of your shitty decisions and not accepting your kids and not listening and raising them as little snipers, which the big surprise when eventually they get access to pew-pews and do horrible things. All of that stuff actually doesn't matter, because you know what's happening in other countries? All that same stuff. All of that stuff. Raising people in ridiculous culture, in far-right culture, being bigots, being racist, putting kids on SSRIs, putting kids on ADHD medication. All of this stuff is happening in other countries except what? One thing isn't: access to pew-pews. There are shitty parents in every country. There's kids on SSRIs. Everyone has mental health problems, sometimes at higher rates than this country. All of this stuff is happening in other countries. The only thing that isn't is unprecedented access to pew-pews. But that's math. Thank you for agreeing with me. But you're agreeing with math. This is not, see, that's the difference. Like people, MAGA, I waited 2 days of MAGA yelling their feelings that make no sense. These aren't my feelings. Like, this is just math. Like, I'm not like, oh, it's trans militia coming for us because that's what I feel insecure about my own sexuality. And I don't know, one time I got erection from someone I thought might be a man and now I hate him. Like, that's not that kind of feeling. This is just math. That's just what's happening. The only difference, all of these things are occurring in other countries all around the world, just not the access to the pew-pews. And there are many studies that show this. You could try to talk about mental health. You could try to blame gay people. I mean, it's just raise your hand and scream, I'm an idiot. I actually have no idea how to look up correct information or, you do math. Even though I'm not required to, I have a supercomputer. I have no idea how to find any information. Wait, someone said so many unsympathetic women. Yeah, people who actually speak in facts and want to solve problems. I am very sympathetic. I used to be a teacher. You know who's not sympathetic? It's fascinating to me. I'll never forget this reaction over this Charlie Kirk stuff. And every single day, kids are pew-pewed over, like bullets riddle their bodies, and you guys don't care. I will never. All I do is see the world in patterns. Every single thing I said was a fact. All I do is see the world in patterns, and the fact that you all are doing this now, thank you. This is your dream. Unlimited access to pew-pews. Every single other variable remains constant in other countries. The only difference is the access to pew-pews. And I'm not saying we cannot stop any incidents from happening, but the way you lower risk is by limiting access to pew-pews. I'm sorry, that's mathematical fact. I know that, and then men are just like, you don't know, you're just a woman with a tiny brain. Like, just again, now you just look stupid. You can't help these people. Oh, here, I'm just going to continue reading from this Daily Beast article. According to public records, Robinson's parents are both registered Republicans. His mother, Amber Robinson, 44, is a licensed social worker. His father, Matt Robinson, runs a business installing kitchen countertops, cabinets, and stone surfaces in their home city of Washington, Utah. So in the backwoods of if you think the South is red, you just don't understand Utah. Both of them have held, what did I say? White male, 19 to 30, hunting or military background. Both the parents have hunting licenses. A Facebook post made by Amber Robinson describes one of Tyler's brothers as a pew-pew toting, cowboy loving, brilliant kid. Here's the screenshot of that post. This is the brother. And Tyler Robinson was previously registered as a nonpartisan voter, which I like Utah's voting system, which is very common in Utah. But according to Utah Governor Spencer Cox, he had become more political in recent years, which, by the way, that interview was ridiculous. Cox added that Robinson had told a family member he disliked Kirk and mentioned that Kirk was coming to Utah Valley University. Yeah, which is, the most circumstantial of all circumstantial evidence, but cool. Cox shared that Robinson's roommate had handed in incriminating Discord messages in which Tyler stated specifics about the, the things that go inside the pew, the engravings on them, and details about a rifle hidden in a hidden location. Discord, however, released a statement saying Robinson did not plan the attack on their platform or promote violence. These were communications between the suspect's roommate and a friend after the pew-pewing, where the roommate was recounting the contents of a note the suspect had left elsewhere. That's the Judd Hoffman, I guess, who's the vice president of trust and safety at Discord, said in a statement. This is his mom. Look how young his mom is. Kids having kids. This is Mormon kids having Mormon kids. That's his mother. I was like, is that his girlfriend? Nope, that's his mom. Keep on with this nonsense. Okay, so keep on with all of the factual information that I've said. I know it's so hard when people online use math and facts to educate people. It's the worst. It's like it's like melting a witch. Like their worst enemy is like, oh, we're not going to be able to spew lies anymore now that the truth is out. We can only blame ourselves for fostering this culture and glorifying it. Now our kids are going out and doing this stuff and we have no idea what to do or say about it. We're just grasping at straws, trying to blame other people. That's so horrible. I would keep begging me to stop reading the truth too if I was you. It's embarrassing. What is wrong with sorry, it's not that funny. It's kind of funny. Here, let me pull up something else. Okay, I wanted to read some more things from this. CBS reports he is a third-year student in an electrical apprenticeship program. So, by the way, this is what kills me about this bullshit. He's a third-year student at a technical college in an electrical apprenticeship program. And, once MAGA realized, shit, this kid is a conservative, raised by conservatives. He's a white male. We don't have a leg to stand on. Well, you know what they're doing right now? Currently, they're like, it's university. It indoctrinated him. The kid was learning to be an electrician at an electrical school. Are you guys okay? Because you guys can't read. So you're just going to hear Fox News be like, oh, that's what it is. It's university. He was learning, again, let me just read. He is a third-year student in the electrical apprenticeship program at Dixie Technical College. He briefly attended Utah State University before dropping out. The father owns a business installing kitchen countertops and cabinets. His mother is a licensed social worker. The Robinsons are Mormon. The Robinsons are Mormon and active in the church. Huh. There's so much. Do we need to bring up Lori Vallow? Do we need to bring up Warren Jeffs? Do we need to bring up that crazy lady, passenger of 8 or whatever, that was doing all that horrific shit to her kids? I'm just saying, strange. The Robinsons are Mormon and active in the church. Tyler is the oldest of 3. In one image from Robinson's mother's social media from 2017, thank you for the gifts. I appreciate it. If you like the research I do, this is my Cash App and Venmo gift. Tap the screen. Tapping is clapping. We're almost to 100K. I'm not doing this for a ton of time tonight. It's just now that the actual facts of this case are out and I had to listen to MAGA scream pathological lies mixed with their feelings, I just thought I would then do a live and just read a bunch of facts to MAGA, because it's disgusting to have to listen to MAGA scream lies every single time. In one image from Robinson's mother's social media from 2017, he was seen wearing a Donald Trump costume to Halloween. Interesting. Other images also show Robinson using pew-pews in his childhood, including one where he was posing with an M2 Browning 50 caliber machine gun. Awesome. Great job, conservatives. You keep it up. You keep it up. Utah State subsequently issued a statement that Robinson was enrolled for a single semester in 2021 and dropped out. His grandmother, Debbie Robinson, quote, "My son, his dad, is a Republican for Trump. Most of my family members are Republicans. I don't know any single one who's a Democrat." Sorry, Grandma Debbie Robinson says, quote, "My son, his dad, is a Republican for Trump. Most of my family members are Republicans. I don't know any single one who's a Democrat." That's so strange. That's the weirdest thing based on the last 2 days of absolute bullshit I had to listen to coming out of MAGA. Grandma with the truth. They don't even know a Democrat in their entire lives. Fascinating. Oh my God. Sorry, I don't want to read this stuff about Trump's interview. It drives me nuts. Former Trump Deputy White House Deputy Press Secretary Sarah Matthews. This is a quote from her. "At a time when our country desperately needs him to bring the temperature down, Trump does the opposite. In the moments that call for him to rise to the occasion, he always fails us." Yeah, truer words were never spoken. Like, Trump's out of his ever-loving mind. To Steve Bannon, quote, "Charlie Kirk was unalived or in a cold blood by a left-wing Antifa-aligned radical." Yes, Steve, if only Grandma Debbie Robinson hadn't come out and said, "My whole family is MAGA Republicans. We don't even know a Democrat." It's God, you guys were almost there with your pathological lies until the very end, when it all, just like every single time, it all just fell apart. The house of cards and your idiotic lies fell apart yet again. You guys are unaliving each other. That's why when I was talking about what's happening in the CDC, I was like, it's very interesting that Trump's trying to unalive you all with anti-vaccine rhetoric and eugenics. Like, you guys, the call is coming from inside the house. Wake the F up. Literally, for 2 days, you guys made up pathological lies while we're all like, what in the hell are they talking about? Trump made his first announcement, which, how sad is that? This is if I was part of MAGA, I would, I just want to say something first, because I don't think I said anything. Charlie Kirk should be alive right now, right? Like, truly. I'm a big proponent of the First Amendment. The First Amendment is under attack, not by the left, by the right, by Donald Trump. He's the one eroding the First Amendment. And I will always defend, even when I don't like it, every person's right in this country to stand up publicly and say how they feel. I mean, if the minute one person loses it in this country, we all lose it. That's the point. So, yeah, Charlie Kirk spewed prolific hate. And I would invite people, I've heard people say, well, I've never heard, if you've never, I personally, and this is just on these two phones, I was counting 56 clips of it. This is the guy that said when he gets on a plane and a black pilot's there, he doesn't want to be there. And that was the kind racism coming out of him. This is the guy that said women shouldn't vote. And the worst was saved for the trans community. I could go on. He spent Black History Month trying to erode and invalidate the legacy of Martin Luther King Jr. Oh, yeah, the Groyper stuff. Oh, yeah, this person, sorry, the pew-pewer. Yeah, hold on. I know I have some. I need to figure out where. I have different clips open. Yeah, here we go. Okay, I'm just trying to read. I'm trying to get to like a good place, because here's the stuff I have about the Groypers, which I was just talking about. Hold on, TikTok Studio is telling me to do something. I was talking about this in Discord. The way I was describing it, because I was like, no one's gonna know what the hell a Groyper is, and I was saying, if you are like plugged into like far right, like original MAGA, who are, a lot of them are now very disenfranchised. These are the people, the ones whose brains work, are very upset about the Epstein files. They're very upset about the big beautiful bill. They're very upset about Trump's relation to like the oligarch, like to the billionaires, and the growing size of the swamp. Like, I mean, everything they promised the far right who got him elected. And these are the people that consider them like, these are the younger kids, right, led by Nick Fuentes. That's what Groypers are. If you've never heard of them, you could. It's like 4chan threw up on X. Like they're like bastard stepchildren. That's what the Groypers are. That's I don't know how else to describe it, except for like, go find out who they are at your own risk. But I'll say this: a lot of them are very young kids who are smart. You know what I mean? Like, they don't have like lived experience to be able to see like, oh, when Trump is telling me like Putin's a good guy, I don't, you know, I haven't been in school for 4 years, you know, they don't have the lived experience or the history degree. I have to say like, oh, that's bullshit. But they can think. So they've been angry at Trump, right? Led primarily by Nick Fuentes. They've been very angry at Trump. So anyways, I told you Steve Bannon was quoted saying Charlie Kirk was unalived in cold blood by a left-wing Antifa-aligned radical, which turned out to be a lie. Robinson's messages are cryptic and subject to a lot of different interpretations. He was clearly very online and deeply immersed in gamer culture, which I talk about this other like than first. Keep tapping the screen. Tap, tap, tap. Let's get to 200K. I'm not. The tapping is clapping. Gifting. This is my Cash App and Venmo. If you'd like to support me, please do. Oh my gosh, Filipina Zena, I'm so sorry. Does MAGA know how to tell a difference between fact and conspiracy theory? Glad to see you, Fleece. We miss you. Everyone tap the screen. I'm so sorry I didn't see that. No, they don't. Right? If there's one thing I think we should teach MAGA how to do, it's find info, like not just to see a meme. Okay, let's say you see a meme, then how to do more research, right? How to say, okay, I saw this meme. Now, how do I find out if that's true? Because they just see a meme and they're like, fact. That's what they just stop thinking at meme. If your brain stops working at I saw a meme, give up. But anyways, okay, so this is now referring to Tyler Robinson's like messages that have been circulating. Robinson's messages are cryptic and subject to a lot of different interpretations. He was very clearly online and deeply immersed in gamer culture. I always talk about Gamergate and how one of the grossest things, like I was talking with someone today, I was like, one of the things that makes me the most sick is I know how much money, right, Space Karen, also known as Elon Musk, is making off circulating that video, off stoking outrage around all this, like the advertising revenue that's being made by Google, by X. It's sickening, like, right? They're profiting off of a crisis. And that's what Gamergate was, right? It was this funnel of single male gamers who were isolated alone and didn't have like friends to reality check with, and they would start showing them. And I mean, this is something we talked about in the advertising world, in advertising agencies. You know, they would start by showing like a Ben Shapiro video or a Charlie Kirk video. Next thing you know, you're a red pill bro because you didn't have any friends around you while you were playing video games to be like, no man, that's fucking crazy. So that's when they're saying he was very immersed in gamer culture. Yeah, I think that's very natural for a 22-year-old. Many who monitor these sites are involved in similar online activities to Robinson, assert. So, and that's what I was trying to say, but without saying it when I was messaging in the Discord, that his messaging is consistent with the white nationalist Groyper movement. That's Nick Fuentes' movement. And the Groypers have been harassing Elon Musk and Trump, like, pretty much since January. So they're saying that's why, and I was trying to allude and saying, this is not what I believe, but this is what the far right Groypers, which are primarily gamers, young, pretty political, like they're pretty interested in this stuff, and they're saying all of his messaging, all of the things we find, like he was one of us. And that's why I was trying to say, yeah, it is. They are talking about this is right on right violence. If you understand who the Groypers are, what their gripes are with Trump, they're saying, no, this was our guy, kind of thing. But again, I'm just talking about different receipts, right? Like, I think as far as what we know of this act, conservative parents in the backwoods of Utah raised a very good hunter who was a very good shot, and this was a kid whose grandmother is quoted as saying, we don't even know a Democrat. There's not one in our family. And then he decided to do this. So, and then one of the only people that have come, here's another one. Here we go. And this is a quote about the Groyper stuff, I just want to say, and this is Ron Filipkowski talking. Personally, I am choosing not to speculate, which same here, until we get more information on his motives from law enforcement. Perhaps a full confession or statement by Robinson. And mind you, Ron Filipkowski is a former defense lawyer and I believe a prosecutor in Florida. So like he's an actual lawyer talking. Perhaps after a full confession or statement by Robinson to the police. But others have speculated on that premise, arguing that the FBI and or Utah investigators will cover up any statements he might make that would suggest he's a right-winger. And we already know they released statements saying he was trans and everything. I believe, is it 3 or 4 full statements that have now been confirmed that the FBI released? Yeah, we can't believe a word these weirdos say. The only reason he was caught is because his dad turned him in. Like, they didn't even catch him. He'd be somewhere else. Right now, like if he confessed to his dad. Oh my God, I love this. Thank you. He confessed to his dad, and his dad turned him in. Wait, and here's another interesting quote about the Groyper, about Nick Fuentes and stuff. So Robert Downen with Texas Monthly. This is a quote. I'm actually shocked how few people know that Charlie Kirk has for years been among the most reviled people on the planet by white supremacists. This is actually, I've tried to tell you guys this. I just want to point out, have I not been trying to tell you guys for months and months that Nick Fuentes is leading like a revolt against, to Nick Fuentes, MAGA are now the rhinos. Like, that's the best way I can describe it to you. To Nick Fuentes, and the Groypers, MAGA are rhinos. They are liars. They built, this movement off their backs, and they are mad. So yeah, and okay, wait, I didn't finish this. Let me keep reading. Has been among the most reviled people on the planet by, I don't like the way he says white supremacist. I don't even, but I guess, but whatever. Many of whom were radicalized by sustained campaigns painting him as an anti-white fraud in extremism spaces. Yeah, this is what went on in 4chan and places. The Charlie Kirk hater. This is hilarious. The Charlie Kirk hater to schmotzy pipeline is canon for Gen Z. If you don't know what canon is, look it up. Nick Fuentes literally is like saying Bible if you're a Kardashian. Nick Fuentes literally built his movement attacking Kirk from the right. It's true. It's like when communists, hey, I'm just punching left. If I'm hitting a liberal, get out of the way. It's that's how Nick Fuentes and the Groypers are with MAGA. They're you guys are worthless shills who promised a bunch of things and never delivered, type of thing. And they call it faux populism, which I actually am on board. It is faux populism. And I'll say this, when I was getting my history degree in college, I never saw populism in action. I just knew examples. I thought populism just was lying. It's just, to me, as someone who sees the world in patterns, populism is just, you literally promise whoever is in front of you, you promise them whatever they ask for, and you can't deliver it all. So you're just essentially pathologically lying. So again, Nick Fuentes literally built his movement attacking Kirk from the right. And so that's why the Groypers are claiming every word he's posted on his social media is like this, And if you are confused about that, I mean, they literally have their own language. Like they're like right next to like Pig Latin. Like Groypers have their own language, and like sometimes you have to like ask somebody, be like, can someone explain to me like what this means? Because they have such a slang way of talking that if you don't understand it, you can't identify it. So they, literally built his movement from attacking Kirk from the right. They turned him into a caricature. Thank you for the hat. Yeehaw. They turned him into a caricature of all that they detested. Faux populism, Zionism. Oh, yeah. Like, that's the thing. They are the opposite of Zionists. Like, Netanyahu is like... they're watching a G-side. The Groypers don't like it. So that's why I'm saying it's kind of confusing to hear them described as white supremacists only, because these are people who are very angry about Palestine as well. Anyways, literally built his moving attacking Kirk from the right. They turned him into a caricature of all they detested. Faux populism, Zionism, anti-white policy, astroturfed by billionaires and establishment elites who would sell out their race for political power. And I'll say this, and then like, I played clips of it as it was this Epstein stuff was unfolding, but like to the Groypers, Trump covering up for whoever is in these Epstein files, they see as like the effing nail in the effing, like they're like this creeper, like, like for them, that was the literal end of them having any respect for him. And here's, I'm just continuing this quote that I was reading. Keep tapping the screen. We are almost to 200K. Tapping is... Oh my God, you can eat ice cream now. Thank you for all these cool gifts. It's scary. It's almost Christmas. Thank you so much. I'm going to reset my gift goal real quick because I keep having pop-ups. Can we get to 200K as fast as possible? I appreciate you guys waiting for me today. I've just been so sick, but... I thought I would wait till the facts come out and then just correct all of MAGA's hysterical lies all at once. And of course, I'll expound on this on Monday. But so this is just a continuation quote. And the Kirk hatred was also crucial to their growth, right? If you remember, I always talk about like the first time I became like super aware of Nick Fuentes was when he was being dragged out of CPAC. CPAC ironically is run by a 3PDO as well. But, remember, like that was the first time I was like, oh, who is this guy? But then at TPS, at Turning Point USA events, like Groypers would show up and they would grill him on Israel, on immigration, etc. Because a lot of their belief on that far right is like libertarian, right? Which if you understand real libertarians, there's no borders, right? They don't believe in borders. They don't recognize states. So that's why they find a lot of hypocrisy. Thank you for the dress. I love it. So that's what they mean. So the Groypers would show up to his events. They'd grill him on Israel, immigration, etc., never going mask off, but subtly injecting their incentive into more mainstream GOP conversations. And this would inevitably peel off a few sympathizers in attendance. The Groyper War, as they call it. And if you know, like, they have like Groyper news sources and they refer to the Groyper War. And that is them trying to peel off the right fringe of MAGA and like bring them into what they see as like, hey, he's not draining the swamp. Now he's just stealing from all of us and is in league with billionaires, like they take. And so the Groyper War is this effort of younger guys that came from the gamer alt-right pipeline, led most in part, I would say their god is Nick Fuentes, and they are trying to just scratch off the far right of Turning Point. Is this new? I mean, no. I mean, it's been going on for a hot minute, like 5 years. Yeah, 5 years. But as Kirk rose to power, as Kirk was kind of given this mantle by Trump to turn out the youth vote, I think that's when the people who consider them the real far right became hostile against Charlie Kirk. Because I'll give you an example. I was talking about this. Thank you, Wayne, for the bouquet. That is so beautiful. You're amazing. Thank you, Wayne from New Zealand. Love you. Sorry, I'm repinning my gift goal. I said, okay, I'm really resetting my gift goal now. I said I was doing it and then I didn't. Wait, What is wrong? Sorry, I keep trying to click on the wrong goal. That's what it is. If you're not following me, please do follow me. Let me just update this so TikTok Studio will stop it. Okay. So yeah, that's what the Groypers are. And in my opinion, I've talked about this. Like I annoy a lot of people on the People's Receipts by always playing updates on Nick Fuentes. But my job is to like keep an eye on the far right. Like, and I think populist movements, which is how Mustache Man rose to power, right? Understand, like, you'll always hear me say the danger is the middle. The danger is the middle. Pick a side. That is, populism is just sitting in the middle, promising everything to everyone. It's all a lie. The rich are just going to get richer, right? That is what happened with, that's how Mustache Man came to power, right? Just moderates in the middle were garnering wealth. On the right and left, no one really cared. And that's why I say pick a side, right? Populism leads nowhere, angers people, and then extremists like Mustache Man pop up and they're like, oh, I'm a socialist. Oh my God, someone showed me, I can't remember. It might have been Chris. I can't remember who sent me this video, but God, older millennial is, oh, I shouldn't have said his name. Damn it. I don't like to say other creators' names. I shouldn't have done that, but God, he's dumb. He made a video saying that Mustache Man must have been a socialist because he said he was a lot. Yeah, what is that? Yeah, Xi Jinping says he's a communist. The name of his party is the Chinese Communist Party. Is he a communist? Do you want? No. I can't stand, God, if the smartest, this is what I'm saying, the smartest people on the right are women and nobody will listen to them. And you guys are like, older millennial said, he's an idiot. Like, none of you guys should listen to him. Listen to conservative Lynn. She's the smartest one over there, but no one will listen to her because she's not like, overdosing on testosterone and like talking about how much they squat while being tased by a cop in Tampa. Allegedly, I don't know. There might be videos available. Anyways, allegedly, I just made all that up, and that was just a joke. None of that was true. That was just a joke I made up for legal purposes. Wait, sorry. I want to find this. I think I have one more clip about this Groyper stuff I need to read. Where did it go? Sorry. Yeah, here we go. It's how a generation. Okay, here we go. And Kirk hatred also was crucial to their growth. So Turning Point USA events, basically, the Groypers would attack from the right. Charlie Kirk, all his immigration beliefs, his beliefs on Israel, blah, blah, blah. It's how a generation of angry young men took their first step into the fascist rabbit hole. And understand that, and this is just, for many, it was as simple as starting to question why Kirk wouldn't say XYZ about ABC, which I think is actually pretty astute, right? And I think it's an interesting thing to think about, right, is however you're attacking the middle, right, and populism, which is obviously lie. You can't promise everything to everyone while we watch you steal from all of us and transfer wealth to the top of the economy. And whether you're attacking this populist bullshit lie movement that's just consolidating, the rich are getting richer, corporations are getting richer, and we are dying as we watch, right? Whether you're attacking it from the left or right, they feel like they're attacking it. And I'm not saying right or wrong, or if I identify these people, I don't, right? But I'm just saying, this is how they see it. And when you hear people talking about Groypers and stuff, it's because, understand, there is the far right of Charlie Kirk, right of Matt, they are saying he was one of us. That's why it's outside of grandma being like, we don't even know a Democrat. There's no Democrat in this family. We've never even met one. Yeah, this is all you. This is you guys. This is, the call is coming from inside the house. It always is. Leo, thank you for the $5 on Cash App. A meme should be a starting point, not a conclusion. God, and before I ever debate any MAGA person on TikTok, I should say that. Who remembers a couple weeks ago when I accidentally let someone up after that Minneapolis school pew-pewing? And he just, like, I think his name was Leah, but he just yelled, like, the last 7 mass pew-pewings at schools were trans people. I was like, no, they weren't. And then when we literally finally questioned him and called him a liar enough, he was literally like, yeah, I was a meme myself. That's it. That's the end of the research for MAGA. They're just like, I saw a meme in the comments on X, and I just thought it was gospel, so I was just like, yeah, I'm just gonna go yell this. And he was so excited to be wrong. You know what I mean? They don't even think, like, this is a supercomputer, I should just check really quick before someone publicly humiliates me. I should check if any of this shit is fucking true. He's like, nope, I'm just gonna go yell it. And women have tiny brains, so if I yell it loud enough and I sound like a man enough, they'll just agree with me. God, so embarrassing. Anyways, Kyle, thank you for the $5 on Venmo. I was just sorry, I've been MIA for a while. Good to see you. Good to see you too. You're the best. Keep on keeping on. Carrie, thank you for the $5 from almost altruist, right? Altruist, you're my absolute favorite. Thanks. You're my favorite. Thank you so much. And I love making sense of the world together. Like, so that's the Groyper angle Groyper? Oh my God. It's Groyper. I was not doing that up. That's one thing people do call them. I will say that is one of their nicknames. It is Groyper. That is one of them. Like, no, they do. A lot of people online are like, oh, the Groypers are out again. Like, remember when Elon Musk was like losing his mind and like attacking Trump, and then like the Groypers were like getting deleted, like that group of people that Elon Musk was like deleting from the internet, those were primarily Groypers or Groyper friendly people. Like, he deleted like an entire section of the internet, and it was them, because they were like, hey, you used to agree with us and now you're just a shill, like, rich guy who's looking for subsidies from Donald Trump. Like, they were angry, and they were angry about the Israel stuff. I mean, yeah, I posted a Wikipedia about them. Yeah, it's good. Thank you. Yeah, we all just need to. It's not that fascinating, but like, Nick Fuentes is by no means like an idiot. That's all I'll say. He can follow a line of logic. So I do appreciate like not the insecure, bigoted parts of him when he also happens to be Hispanic. Like, it's very strange. It's very strange. He needs therapy. But outside of the fact he is his grandmother is like Hispanic, and somehow seems to know like brown people, that's a whole other thing we have to dig into. But outside of that, like, I am impressed by the way like the loudest fight against Trump from the right side is led by him. I'll say that. When we're facing literal fascist takeover, right, where wealth is just being transferred to the top of the economy, like, I've talked about this. It doesn't matter what strategy we have. If we're trying to do this bullshit trickle-down economics, which we know now, we have 45 years of trailing data, there's not a goddamn thing trickling down. Wealth is concentrating at the top. And more importantly, when wealth concentrates up there, it's used for speculation in markets and creates asset bubbles that lead to recessions that create further transfers of wealth and what MAGA thinks they understand, quantitative easing, right? Like, that's the enemy. That's the truth. I mean, I don't know. It's hard for the rest of us who have empathy and who might be black or brown or multiracial to like say things like this. But the truth is like, everyone put your weird racism and bigotry aside. We are being robbed. Like, we're at a critical mass point of transfers of wealth. Like, we're just going to have to put away our racism and idiocy and stop the people who are stealing from all of us. We're just going to have to, hey, just bury your hate deep down inside for a while, and let's just all go after the people who are robbing us. Yeah, the robots, that's the only answer. Like, you're going to have to stop worrying about who's going in what bathroom before we don't have bathrooms, and we're all in a goddamn concentration camp wondering what happened. Like, we got to give up and just say, hey, like, these people are robbing us, and using what happened to Charlie Kirk as a distraction, telling lies about it, spreading literal lies. Like the FBI is telling lies about what happened, arresting 3 people who didn't do anything. The only reason we have the right person is because his dad turned him in. Like, we're defunding the FBI, defunding the ATF. We have kids being pew-pewed down in schools. If just a week and a half ago that happened in Minneapolis, and MAGA, where were you on that? Where were you on caring about that? Where were you when the another conservative white male went and gunned down 2 politicians in Minnesota? You guys were nowhere. Where were you? Oh, you guys care about Jews, but Governor Josh Shapiro of Pennsylvania's house was burned down with him inside of it, and Trump refused to acknowledge that it happened. Like, it is fascinating to me to watch you guys pick and choose what the you care about. Wake the F up. We're all being robbed. Stop being like, oh, now that this random tragedy happened, which was a kid from a conservative Republican family whose grandmother swears they don't even know any Democrats, who was trained to be like a sharpshooter and then decided to do this for no reason that any of us know, is not a reason to lose sight of who is robbing us. Like, you guys caused all of this. This is ballistic podiatry. You guys you guys don't want the ATF. You don't want the FBI. You want any person left in any federal forces are being redirected to harass brown people who we know there's no statistical, this is math now, not your feelings, correlation between immigration and crime. So we have every force in this country focused on the wrong thing, while the vast majority of every pew-pewing is tied back to who? I'll help you out. White males between the ages of 19 and 30. It's always the same people. It always is. And by and large, the vast majority of that group, they are raised in conservative, Trump-loving households. So, and again, the only thing that is consistent, if all variables remain constant, all these things are happening in other countries. The only difference is the access to weapons. So if you actually wanted to stop things like this from happening, we got to talk about red flag laws. We got to talk about access to weapons. But you guys don't. So this will just keep happening, and then you'll just blame the wrong people and act a fool. Yeah, thank you, Toodle. Toodle, you always know just what to say. You always say the most brilliant things. You're the best. Anyways, sorry, I am not feeling so good. I just wanted to read that stuff, and I'll be back on Monday with more, but I just thought if I can just bring some clarity in the fucking cloud of MAGA's never-ending puking up their feelings and pathological lying on us of all the things they wish they weren't responsible for. Like, again, MAGA, the call was coming from inside a conservative MAGA Republican family. Quote, the grandmother, Debbie Robinson, we don't even know a Democrat, let alone have one in our family. So, yeah, you guys need to figure this out amongst yourselves. You won't do shit. You'll continue blaming everyone else, taking no accountability for anything. But keep on keeping on, MAGA. The delusions grow every single day. Keep on keeping on. And I want Charlie Kirk to be alive. I'm trying to show you that all the roads lead back to you, your problems, the environment you're raising your children in. That's what I'm trying to tell you, is you need to look into that. And also, the only thing that will ever change any of this is red flag laws, is access to guns. That's it. The only thing that will stop any of this from happening is limiting access to pew-pews, which is the only thing you won't do. So just keep raising your kids to be snipers, and then being surprised when they use the skill set you raised them to have. It's beautiful watching you guys are lost in a paper bag. Like, you just keep training them up. I mean, that shot was impossible. That's why I thought it was so funny. You're like, it's a liberal. Really? Who that would know how to do that? Oh, shocking. A conservative from the backwoods of Utah. Shocked. Called it in the first hour. Wait, just in case, spread the word. Thank you so much for all the gifts and the galaxy. I just want to, again, just wait, hold on. Oh my, for the record, I just want to remind everyone, while Kosh Patel had some like 70-year-old man in handcuffs, this is me less than an hour after it happened in our group chat. I mean, I'm calling it white male, 19 to 30, possible military or hunting background. His whole family has hunting licenses. And Kosh Patel has some elderly man with his pants around his ankles in custody. And then releases information as a trans person. And then I'm just telling you, it took me 54 minutes. I took one FBI profiling class at university. One. Nailed it. Like, just read some books on FBI. We're not curing cancer here. You don't have to be smart. Nailed it. And MAGA's like, it's got to be a trans unicorn running, unaliving serial unaliver running around. That's the only explanation. Yeah, if your brain works. There was always only one answer. The same answer it always is. The call is coming from inside your house, MAGA. Lock up your pew-pews and figure out what your kids are up to on Discord. That's my advice. It's always you all. It's always red people shit. Who's Japs? Exactly. This is red people business. And we're going to stay out of it. You guys need to have a talk with yourselves about how you're going to stop these things from happening. It's literally ridiculous at this point. It is all your guys' fault. Oh, JJ, if you just joined, I went all over Nick's reaction to the pew-pewing. Yeah, I mean, he's saying that the kid is one of them, is a Groyper, and it's MAGA on MAGA violence or whatever, right on right violence. Which, I mean, they're making good argument. They do speak their own language. They can recognize one of them. Trust me, those kids are weird. I mean, cool. Anyways, thank you guys for listening. I'll see you guys on Monday. I'm going to get some more sleep because I don't feel so good. Love you all. Later, Gators.